West Ryde Public School is going to have ebooks and audiobooks, and you can borrow online in 3 ways. You can use the online platform, you can use an app, or you can use Oliver Library. So you may not need to watch this whole video. If you find one of the methods suits you best, just stop there. If you like the online platform, you won't need to keep watching. If you like using the app, you won't need to watch after that. So just choose the method that suits you best and borrow the ebooks and the audiobooks that we have brought into West Ryde Library. So the online platform, you have to go to that web address at the top there, westryde.eplatform.co, and when you head on into that page, the first place that you'll go is the box at the top right with the red arrow where it says search for books. So you'll put in either the name of the book you want or the topic like tigers or ponies or dragons, whatever interests you. So that box up the top there on the right with the red arrow, that's where you'll go to first to go finding books. And where it says loans with the yellow arrow, that's where you'll go to later whenever you want to read the book that you have borrowed. So you go into your loans and you head there whenever you want to read the book that you've borrowed or whenever you want to return it. And you do return it as quickly as you can because we are sharing these ebooks with a few other schools. So if you've actually finished reading it, head into your loans and press on return so another child can borrow that book. So as well as looking in the search for books box up the top there on the right, you can also modify your search so you don't get annoyed, and you can tick the available now box, which has the blue arrow next to it, so that the only books you see are books that are actually available for you to borrow. And then you can click on the audience tab and you can choose which age group you would like to read in. Underneath the age group, you can actually tick whether you want to borrow fiction or non-fiction. And you can also choose whether you want to borrow an ebook, which is an EPUB, or it's a PDF, or whether today you want to borrow an audiobook where somebody will be reading the story to you. So that's where you can make some more decisions. So once you've decided you want to borrow a book, you click on the front cover, and that takes you into actually having to sign in, which you do with your ordinary school log on. So if you don't remember your school log on, you're going to have to contact your teacher to get your username and password because it's the same one that you use at school all the time. So basically, you're allowed to borrow 2 books at any one time, and you've got the books for a fortnight, and you can read them and you can also return them as soon as possible so that other people can borrow them. So before you actually start reading, it's a really good idea to go to those capital A's at the top there on the left-hand side near the red arrow, because with those you can actually make some changes if you need to adjust the size of the font. And to read the book, you click on the forward tab, which has the blue arrow pointing to it. If you need to go back a page, you click on the backwards tab. When you click on the capital A's at the top there, you can make the writing bigger by clicking on the plus icon. You can make the spaces between words be bigger, and you can launch the settings wizard to make an easier background to read with. So these are some settings you can use if they're helpful to you. So these tips and hints about making better settings for if you struggle with the text, are available at this particular YouTube video, Tips and Secrets number 3. So the second place that you can get your ebooks for West Ryde Public School is by going into the App Store and getting the e-platform Wheeler's Books app. And when you get that app and you download it, you click on Find Your Library and you click on West Ryde Public School. Then you can start browsing, but what's fun about the home page is that it's organised in Premier's Reading Challenge levels. So at the top it's got years 5 and 6, and then it goes down to year 3 and 4, and it goes down to year 1 and 2 in kindergarten. So that home page is very useful if you want to find books at a certain PRC level. So in this app, it's the same idea as using the platform. Up the top, you put that search word in, like tigers and so on. And then again, you click on the book cover again to borrow the book. But this time, because you're working in the app, your loans are actually down the bottom. So you can see here on this slide that there's one book that's been borrowed out. And to go and read that book and also to return it, you click on loans at the bottom there where the blue arrow is. That's where you read and you return your books. So you can also adjust the settings to make the font easier, but when you're reading inside your app, you actually find the capital A's to make the adjustments. You find them by actually tapping on the middle of the screen to make your way in. And then up come the capital letters. But as well as that, you've got the chapters in the book, so that if you remember you finished at the end of chapter 1, then you can start reading again at chapter 2. You click on it and it takes you straight to chapter 2. So the third way to get your ebooks and audiobooks is to go into Oliver Library, which a lot of you are very used to doing. So you Google New South Wales Student Portal, you head on in and you click on the Oliver Library icon and you head on into Oliver Library. And then when you search, it's just a little bit different. So you move your little cursor to where it says subject. So here you can see that there's a red arrow pointing to subject. So make sure you've moved it there where it says subject. And if you want to find ebooks, you put in ebooks, but remember, use a hyphen. Or if you want to listen to the book being read, you put in audiobooks and then you click search. So that's how you bring up all the ebooks or all the audiobooks. But you know, that's great, but you've got something that you're really interested in finding. So you're not just going to have one subject there, which is ebooks. You're actually going to click on that subject tab, which is down in the left menu, and you're going to find some other subjects to go hunting, so that you've actually got 2 subjects, ebooks. And then, for example, you might, when you click on that subject tab down there, you can bring up either picture books or you can bring up graphic novels. There's lots of topics you can bring up. And so you're bringing up, actually there's 2 subjects, ebooks and picture books. And if you're searching for audiobooks, you'll have 2 subjects because you're going to get more specific. Now you can see with the red arrow pointing there to the ebook icon, you can see that the top one is actually available, whereas the one with the red cross next to it, Koala Bear, it's not actually available. It's got a red cross because the book is out, and it might not be out at our school. It might be out, because it's a little group of local schools, it might be out at another school, but that's not really worth looking for. I would just try and get a book that's actually available at the moment. So of course you click on the cover to borrow it, just the same way that you do on the platform book or in the app. You click on the cover, and then once you've brought up the cover, underneath the cover, it says borrow ebook. So that's how you borrow the ebook. Now, you can see with the green arrows here that you read the ebook, because the ebook will open up straight away. As soon as you borrow it, the ebook will open up straight away. And so you read the ebook by going forwards where the green arrows are, or backwards. So you can see here that there's a blue arrow pointing to those capital A's, and that's where you can adjust the font size and the brightness and the spaces between words and so on. But interestingly, if you click on that back arrow, which has got the yellow arrow above it, actually this will whiz you out of Oliver Library, and it'll take you to that platform, the e-platform that I showed you at the beginning. So there's no problem if you head out to the e-platform, because you know how to find your loans. They're in the section called loans. So you can actually take yourself right out of Oliver Library, and it just won't be a problem. So basically, here is, here's a book up close. So it reminds you that you've got it for 13 days. It shows you that you can read the book. Just click on the read. When you're ready to return it, you click on return so you don't keep people waiting. So it's very, very similar. Whichever of the three methods that you use, you're always going to have those options. So another way that you can find your loans, if you don't want to go to the e-platform, you can actually find them in Oliver Library. So in Oliver Library, you just click on your actual name, like my name is Elizabeth, and the drop down arrow comes and it says loans. And basically within loans, you'll find the books under digital loans. So that's where you can read those books if you don't want to read them on the platform or in the app. So I'm hoping you've found that there are many ways to be able to access ebooks and audiobooks, and I hope you find the one that suits you best.